Mr. Bennet replied that he had not.
But it is, for Mrs. Long has just been here, and she told me all about it.
Mr. Bennet made no answer.
Do you not want to know who has taken it?
You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it.
Now the field is taken by a young man of a large fortune from the north of England.
What is his name?
Bingley.
Is he married or single?
Oh, single, my dear, to be sure. A single man of a large fortune, 4,000 or 5,000 a year. What a fine thing for our girls.
How so? How could it affect them?
My dear Mr. Bennet, how can you be so tiresome? Why, you must know I am thinking of his marrying one of them.
Is that his design in settling here?
Design nonsense. How can you talk so? But it is likely that he may fall in love with one of them, and therefore you must visit him as soon as he comes.
I see no occasion for that.
Indeed, you must go, for how are we to visit if you do not?
You are over-scrupulous, surely. I dare say Mr. Bingley will be very glad to see you, and I will send a few lines by you to assure him of my hearty consent to his marrying whichever he chooses of the girls, though I must put in a good word for my little Lizzie.
Oh, you delight in vexing me. You have no compassion for my poor nerves.
You mistake me, my dear. I have a high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends, as I have heard you mention them with consideration these 20 years, at least.
Oh, you know not what I suffer.
But I hope you will get over it, and live to see many young men of 4,000 a year come into the neighborhood.
It'll do us no good if 20 such should come if you will not visit them.
Depend on it, my dear, that when there are 20, I shall visit them all.
Mr. Bennet was among the first of those who waited on Mr. Bingley.
He had always intended to visit, though to the last, always assuring his wife that he should not go. Until the evening after the visit was paid, she had no knowledge of it. I hope Mr. Bingley would like it, Lizzie.
We are not in a way of knowing what Mr. Bingley likes, since we are not to visit, and Mrs. Long does not return to town until the day before the ball, so therefore it will be impossible for her to introduce us to him, for she will not know him herself.
Then you may have the advantage of your friend, my dear, and introduce Mr. Bingley to her.
I am sick of Mr. Bingley.
I am sorry to hear that, but why did you not tell me so before? If I had known as much this morning, I certainly would not have called on him. It is unlucky, but as I have actually paid the visit, we cannot escape the acquaintance now.
A report soon followed that Mr. Bingley was to bring 12 ladies and 7 gentlemen to the ball.
The girls grieved at such a number of ladies, but were comforted the day before the ball by hearing that he had brought only 4 from London.
His 2 sisters, the husband of the eldest, and the young men.
Mr. Bingley was good-looking and gentlemanlike,
Miss Bingley?
And his sisters were fine women.
with the air of decided fashion.
His friend, Mr. Darcy, soon drew the attention of the whole room by his fine, tall person.
Handsome features,
And the reports of his having 10,000 a year.
Come, Darcy, I must have you dance. I hate to see you standing about all by yourself.
Absolutely not. You know how I detest it, unless I am particularly acquainted with my partner. But your sisters are engaged, and there's not another woman here who would not be punishment for me to stand up with.
I would not be so fastidious as you are. Upon my honor, I've never seen so many pleasant girls in my life as I have this evening.
You were dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
Oh, she's the most beautiful creature I've ever beheld. But she has a sister, there, just behind you. She was very pretty, and dare I say, very agreeable.
Who do you mean? She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, and I have had no humor at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. And you had better return to your partner and enjoy her pretty smiles, for you are wasting your time with me.
Mr. Bingley followed his advice.
Mr. Darcy walked off.
And Elizabeth remained with no very cordial feeling Charlotte Lucas.
His pride does not offend me so much as pride often does, because there is an excuse for it. One cannot wonder that so fine a young man, with family, fortune, everything in his favor, should think highly of himself. If I may so express it, he has a right to be proud.
That is very true, and I can easily forgive his pride if he had mortified mine.
Hello, Papa.
My dear Miss Eliza, why are you not dancing? Mr. Darcy must allow us to present this fine young lady as a very desirable partner.
Indeed, sir, I have no intention of dancing.
Mr. Darcy, with grave propriety, requests to be allowed the honor of her hand.
Mr. Darcy is all kindness.
You excel so much in the dance, Miss Eliza, and who would object to such a partner?
Have you guessed the subject of your reverie?
I should imagine not.
You are considering how insupportable it is to pass many evenings in this manner, in such society, and indeed I am quite of your opinion. I was never more annoyed.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you. My mind was more agreeably engaged. I've been meditating on the great pleasure in which a pair of fine eyes in the face of a pretty woman can bestow.
Miss Elizabeth Bennet, I am all astonishment. And you have a charming mother-in-law indeed. Of course, she'll always be a Pemberley with you.
My dear Mr. Bennet, we had a most delightful evening, a most excellent ball. Jane was so admired, and Mr. Bingley thought her quite beautiful, and he danced with her twice. She was the only creature in the room he asked a second time. The first was Miss Lucas, and then Jane, then Miss King, the fourth Maria Lucas, and then Jane again, and then...
If he had had any compassion on me, he would not have danced half so much. Oh, that he had sprained his ankle at the first dance.
Oh, my dear Mr. Bennet, I'm quite delighted with him. And his sisters were charming women. I've never seen anything more elegant than their dresses. I dare say the lace upon Miss Hurst's gown.
Mr. Bennet protested against any description of the finery.
Who is it from? What is it about?
It's from Miss Bingley.
My dear friend, if you are not so compassionate as to dine today with Louisa and me,
We shall be in danger of hating each other for the rest of our lives.
for a whole day's tete-a-tete between two women can never end without a quarrel.
Come as soon as you can in the receipt of this.
My brother and the gentlemen are to dine with the officers.
Dining out. That is very unlucky.
Can I have a carriage?
No, my dear. You had better go on horseback before it seems likely to rain, and then you must stay there all night.
That would be a good scheme if you were sure that they would not offer to send her home.
Ah, but the gentlemen will have Mr. Bingley's chaise, and the Hursts have no horses to theirs.
Jane was therefore obliged to go on horseback.
And her mother attended her to the door with many cheerful prognostics of a bad day.
Her hopes were soon answered. Jane had not been gone long when it started to rain. Hard, and continued throughout the whole evening.
This was a very lucky idea of mine, said Mrs. Bennet.
More than once.
As if the credit of making it rain were all her own.
Breakfast was scarcely open the next morning when a servant from Netherfield arrived with a note from Jane for Elizabeth.
I felt myself very unwell this morning, which I suppose is to be getting imputed wet throughout yesterday.
My kind friends will not hear of me returning home until I am better.
Well, my dear, if your daughter should have a dangerous fit of illness, if she should die, it would be a comfort to know that it was all in the pursuit of Mr. Bingley, and that under your orders.
Oh, I am not at all afraid of her dying. People do not die over trifling little colds. She will be taken good care of.
Elizabeth was determined to go to her. Though the carriage was not to be had, she was no horsewoman. Walking was her only alternative.
How can you think of such a silly idea? In all this dirt, you will not be fit to be seen when you get there.
I shall be fit to see Jane, which is all I want.
Is this a hint for me? Lizzie, to send for the horses.
No, indeed. I do not wish to avoid the walk. The distance is nothing once I've had a motive. Besides, it's only 3 miles. I shall be back by dinner. Elizabeth walked, crossing fields after fields at a quickened pace. jumping over stiles and springing over posts with impatient activity, until at last she was in view of the house. With weary ankles, dirty stockings, and a face glowing with warmth of exercise, she was escorted to the breakfast parlor.
Where her appearance created a great deal of surprise.
That she should have walked so far so early in the day.
In such dirty weather.
And by herself.
It was incredible to Miss Bingley.
Mr. Darcy said very little.
He was divided between the admiration in which the exercise had given to her complexion, and as to the occasions justifying her coming so far alone.
Her inquiries of her sister were not favorably answered.
Miss Bennet had slept ill, was very feverish, and was not able to leave her room.
Elizabeth was glad to be taken to her immediately.
Elizabeth did not quit Jane's room for a moment.
Jane testified such concern in parting with her,
Then Miss Bingley was obliged to issue an invitation for Elizabeth to stay at Netherfield for the present.
and a servant was dispatched to Longbourn to acquaint the family with their stay and bring back an extra supply of clothes.
She has no conversation, no taste, no style, no beauty. She has nothing in short to recommend her, but being an excellent walker. I will never forget her appearance this morning. She really looked almost wild.
I thought Miss Elizabeth Bennet looked remarkably well when she came into the room this morning.
I hope you saw her petticoat, 6 inches deep in mud, I'm certain.
Her dirty petticoat quite escaped my notice.
You observed it, Mr. Darcy, and I'm inclined to think that you would not want your sister making such an exhibition.
Certainly not.
To walk 3 miles or 5 miles or whatever it is, up to her ankles in dirt, and alone, quite alone. It seems to me to show an abominable sort of conceited independence, a very country town indifference to decorum.
It shows an appreciation for her sister that is very pleasing.
I'm afraid, Mr. Darcy, that this adventure has affected your admiration of fine eyes.
Absolutely not. They were brightened by the exercise.
I have an excessive regard for Jane Bennet. She really is a very sweet girl, and I wish with all my heart she were well settled. But with such father and mother and such low connections, there really is no chance of it.
I think I've heard you say that they have an uncle who's an attorney in Meryton.
Yes, and they have another who's somewhere near Cheapside.
If they had enough uncles to fill all of Cheapside, that would not make them one jot less agreeable.
Which must very materially lessen their chance of marrying any men of consideration in the world.
The days passed in much the same way. Mrs. Hurst and Miss Bingley spent some of the morning in invalid and throughout the evening. Elizabeth joined a party in the drawing room.
How delighted Miss Darcy would be to receive such a letter. You write uncommonly fast.
You're mistaken. I write rather slowly.
Pray tell your sister that I long to see her.
I have already told her so once by your desire.
Do you always write such charmingly long letters to her, Mr. Darcy?
They are generally long, but whether or not charming it is not for me to decide.
Well, it is a rule with me, that a person who can write a long letter with ease cannot write ill.
That will not do as a compliment to Darcy, Caroline, because he does not write with ease. He studies too much of words with 4 syllables. Do you not, Darcy?
My style of writing is very different from yours.
Miss Eliza Bennet, let me persuade you to follow my example and take a turn about the room. It really is quite refreshing after sitting so long in one attitude.
Elizabeth was surprised, but agreed to it immediately.
Mr. Darcy looked up,
He was directly invited to join the party.
but he declined, observing that there would be 2 reasons for them choosing to walk up and down the room together, either of which his joining them would interfere.
What could he mean? Do you understand him?
Not at all. But depend upon it, I think he means to be severe on us. And our most surest way of disappointing him is to talk nothing about it.
Miss Bingley, however, was incapable of disappointing Mr. Darcy in any way, and persevered therefore in requiring an explanation of his 2 motives.
You choose this method of passing the evening because you could either have secret affairs to discuss, or because you are conscious that your bodies are in the greatest advantage in walking. If the first, I should be completely in the way, and if the second, I could admire you much better as I sit by the fire.
How shocking! How should we punish him for such a
Tease him, laugh at him. Intimate as you are, you must know it's how to be done.
But upon my honor, I do not. He's calmness of temper and presence of mind. No, I feel he may defy us there. And as to laughter, we may not expose ourselves, if you please, to laugh without a subject.
Mr. Darcy is not to be laughed at? That is an uncommon advantage. When I mean uncommon, I hope it will continue. It would be a great loss to me to have such acquaintances. For I do love a laugh.
Miss Bingley has given me credit for more than can be. Even the wisest and best of men may be rendered ridiculous by someone whose first object in life is a joke.
I hope I never ridicule what is wise or good. Follies, nonsense words, and inconsistencies do divert me. I own, and I laugh whenever I can. But these, I think, are precisely what you are without.
Perhaps that is not possible of anyone, but it's been the study of my life to avoid such weaknesses which often expose a strong understanding to ridicule.
Such as vanity and pride?
Yes, vanity is a weakness indeed, but pride, where there is a real superiority of mind, pride will always be under good regulation.
Your examination of Mr. Darcy's over, I presume. And pray, what is the result?
I am perfectly convinced that Mr. Darcy has no defect.
I have made no such pretensions. I have faults enough. My temper I dare not vouch for. I cannot forget the follies and vices of others so soon as I ought. My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That is very indeed. You have chosen your faults well, and I really cannot laugh at it. You are safe from me.
It is my belief that in every disposition there is a natural evil, a natural defect, if you will.
And your defect and propensity is to hate everybody.
And yours is to willfully misunderstand.
Do let us have a little music. Let us open the pianoforte.
Do you not feel a great inclination, Miss Bennet, to seize such an opportunity of dancing a reel? Miss Bennet!
Oh, I heard you. But I could not immediately determine what to say in reply. You wanted me, I know, to say yes. So you might have the pleasure of despising my taste. But I always overjoy in throwing those kinds of schemes, and I have therefore decided that I do not want to answer it at all. Now despise me if you dare.
Indeed, I do not dare. If it were not for the inferiority of her connections, I pray I might be in some danger.
I hope, my dear, that you have ordered a good dinner today, because I have reason to expect an addition to our family party.
What do you mean?
About a month ago, I received this letter from my cousin, Mr. Collins, who, when I'm not dead, may turn you all out of this house as soon as he pleases.
Oh, I cannot bear to hear it mentioned. Why must your property be entailed so?
For lack of a male heir, my dear, as I have explained repeatedly. If you will listen to his letter, however, you may perhaps be a little softened by his manner of expressing himself.
Dear sir, the entail of your estate away from your daughters has always given me much uneasiness. And since the death of my father, I have frequently wished to heal the family breach.
There, Mrs. Bennet.
Having had ordination at Easter, I have been so fortunate as to be distinguished by the patronage of the Right Honorable Lady Catherine de Bourgh, whose bounty and beneficence have preferred me to the valuable rectory of this parish. I cannot be otherwise than concerned at being the means of injuring your amiable daughters, and beg leave to apologize for it, as well as to assure you of my readiness to make them every possible amends.
At 4 o'clock, therefore, we may expect this peacemaking gentleman.
Mr. Collins was punctual to his time.
And was received with great politeness by the whole family.
Mr. Bennet indeed said little.
But the ladies were ready enough to talk.
And Mr. Collins seemed neither in need of encouragement nor inclined to be silent himself.
Mr. Collins was not a sensible man.
And the deficiency of nature had been but little assisted by education or society.
Lydia's intentions of walking to Meryton had not been forgotten.
Every sister except Mary agreed to go with her.
And Mr. Collins was to attend, in pompous nothings on his side.
Civil absence, that of his cousin.
The time passed until they entered Meryton.
But the attention of every lady was soon caught by a young man
Whom they had never seen before.
A man of most gentlemanlike appearance.
Mr. Wickham.
who had just accepted a commission in the Corps.
The introduction was followed on the side by a happy readiness of conversation.
A readiness at the same time perfectly correct and
Come, Darcy.
How long has Mr. Darcy been staying in that field?
About a month. He's had a large property in Derbyshire, I understand.
Yes. His estate there is a nobleman, clear 10,000 per annum. You cannot know the person more capable of giving you certain information on that head than myself. For I've been connected with his family in a particular manner since my infancy. Are you much acquainted with Mr. Darcy?
As much as I ever wish to be.
I wonder whether he'll be in this country much longer.
I do not know at all. But I hope your plans will not be affected by him staying here in the neighborhood.
Oh, no. It is not for me to be driven away by Mr. Darcy. If he wishes to avoid seeing me, he must go.
Indeed.
The greatest part of our youth was passed together. Inmates in the same house. My father gave everything to be as useful as Mr. Darcy. Devoted all his time and care to the converted property. The military life is not what I was intended for. The church ought to have been my profession. I was brought up for the church, and at this time I should be possession of very valuable living that pleased the gentleman we were speaking of just now.
Whose heavens?
The late Mr. Darcy did me best to be the next presentation of the best living his gift. He was my godfather and incessantly attached to me, and to provide for me amply if I had done it. But when the living fell, it was given elsewhere.
Why could his will be disregarded?
Well, there was such an informality in terms of the bequest as to give me no hope from the law. A man of honor cannot doubt the intentions that Mr. Darcy chose to doubt it.
Happily, I am not in such circumstances to make 5 shillings any object. Undoubtedly, there are many who do not say the same. But thanks to Lady Catherine de Bourgh, I am removed far beyond the necessity of regarding little matters.
Is he much acquainted with the family of de Bourgh?
Lady Catherine has recently given him a living.
You know, of course, that Catherine de Bourgh and Lady Anne Darcy are sisters. Consequently, she is aunt to cousin Mr. Darcy. What is it?
Poor Miss Bingley. Vain uses are all her attentions if he is destined for another. Mr. Collins speaks very highly of both Lady Catherine and her daughter, but I suspect his gratitude misleads him.
She has the reputation of being remarkably sensible and clever, but I believe she derives part of that from her rank and fortune, part from her authoritative manner. And the rest from the pride of her appeal.
Elizabeth agreed that he'd given a rational account of it.
And they continue talking together with mutual satisfaction.
Having now a very sufficient income and good house, he intended to marry. And in seeking some reconciliation, he had a wife in view. Miss Bennet's lovely face and her seniority confirmed his views. She was his settled choice.
As for her younger daughters, Mrs. Bennet did not know of any prepossessions. But her eldest, she felt it incumbent upon her to hint that she was very likely to soon be engaged.
Mr. Collins had only to switch from Jane to Elizabeth, and this was done while Mrs. Bennet was stirring the fire. Elizabeth, equally next to Jane in birth and beauty, succeeded her, of course.
Mrs. Bennet treasured up her hint and trusted that she would very soon have 2 daughters married, and the man that she could not bear to speak his name the day before was now high in her good graces.
Elizabeth related to Jane the next day what had passed between Mr. Wickham and herself.
My dearest Lizzie, but do consider what a disgraceful life this places on Mr. Darcy. To be treating his father's most favorite in such a manner, it is impossible. Can his most intimate friends be so excessively deceived by him?
I could much more easily believe Mr. Bingley being imposed on than Mr. Wickham making such a history of himself.
It's difficult indeed. It is distressing. One does not know what to think.
Beg your pardon, I was exactly what I think. The 2 young ladies were summoned from the shrubbery
By the arrival of Mr. Bingley.
Who came to bring them their personal invitation to the Netherfield ball, which was fixed for the following Tuesday.
The prospect of the Netherfield ball was extremely agreeable to every female of the family.
Mrs. Bennet chose to consider this as given in compliment to her eldest daughter, and was particularly flattered by having received the invitation from Mr. Bingley himself.
Jane pictured to herself a happy evening in the society of her new friends and the attention of their brother.
Elizabeth thought a great deal of dancing with Mr. Wickham, and of seeing a confirmation in Mr. Darcy's looks and behavior.
Even Mary could assure her family that she had no disinclination for it.
While I can have my mornings to myself, it is enough. I think it no sacrifice to join occasionally in evening engagements. Society has claims on us all, and I profess myself as one who considers intervals of recreation and amusement as desirable for everybody.
As Elizabeth entered the drawing room at Netherfield and looked in vain for Mr. Wickham amongst the cluster of recluse there assembled, a doubt of his being never occurred to her. Do you think it is proper to join the evening amusement?
I am so far from objecting to dancing myself that I hope to receive the hands of all my fair cousins throughout the course of the evening, and I take this opportunity, Miss Elizabeth, of soliciting yours for the first two dances especially.
Mr. Collins, awkward and solemn,
Apologizing,
never attending and often moving wrong,
without being aware of it,
gave all the shame and misery which a disagreeable partner for a couple of dances can give. The moment of his release from her was ecstasy,
She suddenly found herself addressed by Mr. Darcy.
which took her so much by surprise for his application of her hand that, without knowing what she did,
She accepted him.
a pleasant ball. It's your turn to say something now, Mr. Darcy. I am confident about the dance. You want to make a remark about the size of the room, or the number of couples.
He smiled and assured her that whatever needed to be said would be.
Very well. That reply will do for the present. Perhaps I may add by and by private balls are much more pleasant than public ones. Now we shall remain in silence.
Do you and your sisters very often walk to Meryton?
Yes, when you met us there the other day, we were forming an acquaintance.
Mr. Wickham's happy manners may ensure his making friends. Whether he is equally capable of retaining them is less certain.
And I hope to have this pleasure often repeated, especially when the second desirable event. My dear Miss Eliza, shall take place. But do not let me interrupt, sir. Continue.
Sir William's interruption made me forget what we were speaking of.
I do not think we were speaking at all. Sir Williams could not have interrupted any two people in the room who had much less to say for themselves. We have tried 2 or 3 subjects without success, and what are we to talk of next? I cannot imagine.
What think you of books?
Books? Oh no. I am sure we do not read the same, or with the same feelings.
If that be the case, there can be no want of opinion. We may discuss our different opinions.
No, I cannot talk of books and ballrooms. It is always full of something else.
The present always occupies your mind in such scenes, does it?
Yes, always. I remember you once saying, Mr. Darcy, that your resentment once created was unappeasable. You are very cautious. I suppose it's being created.
I am.
You never allow yourself to be blinded by prejudice.
I would hope not. May I ask what these questions tend?
Merely illustration of your character. I'm trying to figure it out.
And what is your success?
I do not get it at all. Such accounts of you puzzle me exceedingly.
I could imagine that report would vary greatly with respect to me, and I could ask Miss Bennet that you do not try to capture my character in the present moment.
Was all my joy, green sleeves was mine.
That will do extremely well, child. Let the unknown ladies have time to exhibit. You've delighted us long enough.
It appeared to Elizabeth that her family made agreement to expose themselves as much as they can during the evening. It would have been impossible for them to express their character with more spirit, refining success.
When at last they took their leave, Mrs. Bennet particularly addressed Mr. Bingley to assure them how happy it would be if he would have a formal dinner with him at any time, without the ceremony of a formal invitation.
Bingley was all grateful pleasure, and he was readily engaged in taking the earliest opportunity of waiting on them. When he came back from London, whither he was obliged to go to for a short while.
the next day opened a new scene at Long. May I hope, madam, for your fair interest in your daughter Elizabeth, when I solicit for a private audience in the course of this morning?
Oh, Lord! Yes, certainly. I'm sure Lizzie would be quite happy. I'm sure she can have no objections. Mary, I'd like to speak to you
not here. I am going away myself.
No nonsense, Lizzie. I desire you to stay here. Lizzie, I insist upon you staying and hearing Mr. Collins.
Believe me, my dear Miss Elizabeth, that your modesty, so far from doing me any disservice, rather adds to your other perfections. You could hardly doubt the purport of my discourse. Almost as soon as I entered the house, I singled you out as the companion of my future life. But before I run away with my feelings on this subject, perhaps it would be advisable for me to state my reasons for marrying you.
You are too hasty, sir. You forget that I have made no answer. Let me do it without further loss of your time. Accept my thanks for the compliment which you are paying me. I am very sensible of the honor of your proposal, but to accept it is absolutely impossible.
I know it to be the established custom of your sex to reject a man on the first application. And perhaps now you have even said as much to encourage my suit as would be consistent with the true delicacy of the female character.
Really, Mr. Collins, you puzzle me exceedingly. If what I had hitherto said to you can be a form of encouragement, I know not how to express my refusal in such a way as may convince you of being one.
You must give me leave to flatter myself, my dear cousin, that your refusal of me is merely words, of course. My reasons for believing it are briefly these. It does not appear to me that my hand is unworthy of your acceptance, nor the establishment I can offer you is any other than highly desirable. My connections with the family de Burgh are highly in my favor, and you should take it into further consideration that in spite of your manifold attractions, it is by no means certain that any other offer of marriage ever be made. Your fortune is unhappily so small that in all likelihood it will undo the effects of your loveliness and amiable qualifications. As I must therefore conclude that you are not serious in your rejection of me, I shall attribute it to your wish of increasing my love for you by suspense, according to the usual practice of elegant females.
I do assure you, sir, that I have no pretensions whatsoever of the kind of elegance which consists in tormenting a respectable man. I thank you again and again for the honor of your proposal, but to accept it is absolutely impossible. My feelings in every respect forbid it. Can I speak plainly? Do not consider me now as an elegant female itching to play with you, but as a rational creature speaking the truth from her heart.
You are uniformly charming, and I am persuaded that when sanctioned by the express authority of both your excellent parents, my proposals will not fail of being acceptable.
Oh, my dear Mr. Bennet, you are wanted immediately. We are all in an uproar. You must come make Lizzie marry Mr. Collins, for she vows she will not have him, and if you do not make haste, he will not have her.
I have not the pleasure of understanding you. Of what are you speaking?
Oh, Mr. Collins and Lizzie. Lizzie declares that she will not have him, and Mr. Collins begins to declare he will not have Lizzie.
It seems a hopeless business.
Speak to Lizzie. Tell her you insist upon her marrying him.
Let her be called down. She shall hear my opinion.
Mrs. Bennet rang the bell for Miss Elizabeth to be summoned to the library.
Come here, child. I've sent for you on an affair of importance. I understand Mr. Collins has made you an offer of marriage. Is it true? Very well. And this offer you have refused?
I have, sir.
Very well. We now come to the point. I understand that your mother insists upon you accepting it. Is not it so, Mrs. Bennet?
Yes, or I shall never see her again.
An unhappy and unfortunate alternative is before you, Elizabeth. From this day, you must be a stranger to one of your parents. Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will never see you again if you do.
While the family were in this confusion, Charlotte Lucas came to spend the day with them.
I'm glad you would come, for there's so much fun here. What do you think has happened this morning? Mr. Collins has made an offer to Lizzie, and she will not have him.
I told you I shall never see you again, and you will find me good as my word. I have no pleasure in talking to undutiful children.
without any intention of coming back again.
Mr. Bingley will not be detained in London by then.
It is evident by this that he should return no more this winter.
It is only evident that Miss Bingley does not mean he should.
It must be his own doing. He is his own master. But you do not know it all. I will read you the passage which particularly hurts me.
Mr. Darcy is impatient to see his sister, and to confess, we are scarcely less eager to meet her again. I do not think Georgiana Darcy has her equal for beauty, elegance, and accomplishments. The affection she inspires in Louisa and myself is heightened to something still more interesting, for the hope we dared entertain of her being hereafter our sister.
Is it not clear? Does it not expressly declare that Caroline neither wishes nor expects for me to be her sister? That she is perfectly convinced of her brother's indifference? Can there be any other opinion on the subject?
Yes, there can. Your mind is totally different. Will you hear it?
Most willingly.
Miss Bingley sees that her brother is in love with you and wants him to marry Miss Darcy. She follows him into town, hoping to keep him there, while persuades you that he does not care for you.
If we got alike in Miss Bingley, no representation of this might make me quite easy. But I know the foundation is unjust. Caroline is incapable of willfully deceiving anyone. In this case, I can only hope that she deceives herself.
That is right. Leave her to be deceived by all means. You have now done your duty, and you must fight no longer.
The Bennets were engaged to dine with the Lucases, and again during the chief of the day was Charlotte so kind as to listen to Mr. Collins talk.
It keeps him in good humor, and I am more obliged to you than I can express.
Charlotte assured her friend of her satisfaction in being useful, but Charlotte's kindness extended further.
The possibility of Mr. Collins fancying himself in love with her once occurred to Elizabeth within the last day, but Charlotte encouraging him seemed far from possibility was that if she could encourage him herself.
Why should you be so surprised, my dear Eliza? Do you think it incredible that Mr. Collins should be able to procure any woman's good opinion because he was not so happy as to succeed with you? When you have had time to think it over, I hope you will be satisfied with what I have done. I'm not a romantic, you know. I never was. I ask only a comfortable home. Considering Mr. Collins' character, connections, and situation in life, well, I'm convinced that my chances of happiness with him are as good as most can boast upon entering a marriage state.
Undoubtedly.
In as short a time as Mr. Collins's long speeches would allow,
Everything was settled between them to the satisfaction of both.
you must visit me in Hunsford.
Indeed, Mr. Bennet, it is hard to believe that Charlotte Lucas should ever be mistress of this house, that I should have to make way for her and live to see her take my place in it.
My dear, do not give way to such gloomy thoughts. Let us hope for better things. Let us flatter ourselves that I may be the survivor.
Mrs. Bennet continued to wonder and repine, and Mr. Bingley's returned no more.
Mr. Bennet treated the matter differently. So, Lizzie, your sister is crossed in love, I find. I congratulate her. Next to being married, a girl likes to be crossed in love a little now and then. When is your turn to come? You will hardly bear to be long outdone by Jane. Let Wickham be your man. He is an agreeable fellow and would judge you creditably.
I thank you, sir. But a less agreeable man would satisfy me. We must not account for Jane's good fortune.
True, but it is comfort to think whatever the kind may befall you, you have a very affectionate mother who will always make the most of it.
On the following Monday,
Mrs. Bennet had the pleasure of receiving her brother and sister,
who came as usual to spend the Christmas at Longmoor.
The first part of Mrs. Gardiner's business upon her arrival was to distribute her presents.
And describe the newest fashions.
Mrs. Bennet took careful preparation for the entertainment of her brother and sister, and when the engagement was set for home, some of the officers often took part in it.
Of which officers Mr. Wickham was sure to be one.
Mrs. Gardiner had seen Pemberley and had known the late Mr. Darcy.
On being made acquainted with the present Mr. Darcy's treatment of him,
She recollected of having heard Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy formerly spoken of as a very proud, ill-natured boy.
The
Before Elizabeth's departure, she had an unexpected and happiness of
An invitation to accompany her aunt and uncle on a tour of pleasure.
she proposed on taking in the summer.
We've not quite determined how far it shall carry us, but perhaps to the lake.
My dear, dear aunt, what a delight! Oh, which hours of transport we shall spend!
With no greater events in the Longbourn family,
And diversified by little beyond the walks to Meryton.
sometimes dirty and sometimes cold.
Did January and February pass away?
March was to take to Elizabeth to Hunsford. Her inquiries had desired to see Charlotte again and had begun to discuss with Mr. Collins.
She was to accompany Sir William.
Every day in the journey was new and exciting for Elizabeth. As they left the high lane to the road for Hunsford,
Every eye was in search of the parsonage.
and every turn was suspected to bring it to view.
At length, the parsonage was discernible.
Mr. Collins.
And Charlotte appeared at the door.
In a moment they were all out of chase.
Rejoicing at the sight of seeing each other.
Mrs. Collins welcomes her friend with the liveliest pleasure.
And Elizabeth was satisfied more and more with coming. She saw, however, that her cousin's matters were not altered by his marriage.
I must congratulate you on all of your good fortune.
Charlotte explained that the whole party was asked to dine at Rosings.
With Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Scarcely anything was talked of the whole morning or the evening besides a visit to Rosings.
Do not make yourself uneasy about your apparel, my dear cousin. Lady Catherine is far from acquiring that elegance of dress in us, which becomes her and her daughter. She will not think less of you for being simply dressed. She likes to have the distinction of rank preserved.
As the weather was fine, they enjoyed a pleasant walk of about half a mile from the park. From the entrance hall,
Of which Mr. Collins pointed out, with a rapturous air, the fine proportion and finished ornament.
They followed the servants in the room where
Lady Catherine and her daughter were sitting.
The dinner was exceedingly handsome.
Exceedingly handsome.
Every dish was commended. First by him,
And then by Sir William.
in a manner which Elizabeth wondered, did Catherine compare.
But Lady Catherine seemed gratified by such excessive admiration. Your father's estate is entailed on Mr. Collins, I think. For your sake, I'm glad of it. But otherwise, I see no occasion for entailing estates from the female line. It was not thought necessary in Sir Louis de Bourgh's family. Do you play and sing, Miss Bennet?
A little.
Oh, then sometime or other we shall be happy to hear you. Our instrument is a capital one, probably superior to. You shall try it some day. Are any of your younger sisters out, Miss Bennet?
Yes, ma'am, all.
All? What? All five at once? How odd. The younger ones out before the elder are married.
I hardly think it is fair upon younger sisters to not have their share of society and amusement, because the eldest does not have the means nor inclination to marry early. The last born has as good a right to the pleasures of youth as the first.
Upon my word, you give your opinion very decidedly for so young a person. Pray, what is your age?
With 3 younger sisters grown up, your ladyship can hardly expect me to own it.
Lady Catherine seemed astonished at not receiving a direct answer.
And Elizabeth suspected herself to be the first creature who ever dared trifle with such a dignified impertinence.
when the ladies returned to the drawing room,
There was little to be done but to hear Lady Catherine talk.
Which she did, without any intermission until coffee came in, delivering her opinion on every subject in so decisive a manner as proved she was not used to having her judgment controverted.
Soon after Elizabeth's arrival, she was informed that Mr. Darcy was to be expected.
Mr. Darcy brought with him a Colonel Fitzwilliam, the younger son of his uncle.
He was in person and addressed most truly the gentleman.
Mrs. Collins' pretty friend had caught his fancy very much.
He talked so briefly of Kent and Hertfordshire,
Of traveling and staying at home.
of books,
And music.
that Elizabeth had never been half so well entertained.
they conversed with such spirit and flow.
As to draw the attention of Lady Catherine herself.
As well as of Mr. Darcy.
What is it that you are saying, Fitzwilliam? What are you telling Miss Bennet? Let me hear what it is.
We are speaking of music, madam.
Of music. It is
no one in England, I suppose, who has more true enjoyment of music than myself, or better natural taste. If I had ever learnt, I should have been a great proficient.
When coffee was over, Colonel Fitzwilliam reminded Elizabeth of having promised to play.
You need to frighten me, Mr. Darcy. But I will not be alarmed. There is a certain stubbornness about me that always rises and frightens people at their will. My courage always rises in a form to intimidate me.
I shall not say that you are mistaken, because you could not really believe me to entertain any design of alarming you, and I have had the pleasure of your acquaintance long enough to know that you occasionally enjoy professing opinions, which in fact are not your own.
Your cousin will give you a very pretty notion of me, and will teach you not to believe a word I say. Indeed, Mr. Darcy, it is very ungenerous of you to mention my disadvantages in Hertfordshire, for it is forcing me to retaliate, and you may hear such things that will shock your relations to hear.
I am not afraid of you.
Pray, let me hear what you have to accuse him of. I should like to know how he acts among strangers.
You shall hear then. Prepare yourself for something very dreadful. When I saw him, you must know, was at a ball. And at this ball, what do you think he did? He danced only 4 dances. I am sorry to make you, but it was so. He danced only 4 dances, though gentlemen were scarce. To my certain knowledge, there was more than one young lady sitting down and want to be partner. Mr. Darcy, you do not deny it?
I had not at the time the honor of knowing any lady outside my own party.
True. And no one can be introduced in a ballroom. Well, can I continue? What should I play?
Perhaps if I sought an introduction, but I am ill qualified to recommend myself to strangers.
Shall we ask your cousin the reason for this? Why a man ill qualified can recommend himself to strangers?
Because he will not give himself the trouble.
I certainly have not the talents in which I see some people possess of conversing easily with others. I cannot catch their tone of conversation or appear interested in their concerns, as I often see done.
My fingers do not move over this instrument in a masterly manner, as I see so many women often do. They do not produce the same force or rapidity, which I suppose is to be my fault, as I would not take the trouble of practicing.
You are certainly correct.
Here they were interrupted by Lady Catherine, who gave her many instructions on execution and taste.
Elizabeth received them with forbearance and civility.
And at the request of the gentleman, remained at the instrument.
Until her ladyship's carriage was ready to take them all
home. Field sports?
Are over this time of year.
Indoors there is Lady Catherine,
Books.
a billiard table.
But gentlemen cannot always be within doors, and in the nearness of the parsonage,
Or the pleasantness of the walk to it.
or of the people who lived in it.
The 2 cousins found the temptation of walking thither nearly every day.
He's claimed to them all that Colonel Fitzwilliam paid,
Because he had pleasure in their society,
and Elizabeth was reminded of the satisfaction of being with him.
as well as by his evident admiration for her.
Former favorite to Mr. Wickham. But why Mr. Darcy often as in parsonage, therefore was very difficult to understand.
It could not be for society, as he frequently sat there without even opening his lips.
And when he did speak, it seemed a sacrifice to propriety, not a pleasure to himself.
Are you certain you can't on Saturday?
Yes, if Darcy does not put it off again. But I am at his disposal. He arranges the business just as he pleases.
If he is not pleased by any arrangement, at least he has the power of choice. I do not know anyone who enjoys one thing best than Mr. Darcy.
Yes, Darcy does like to have his own way very well, but so we all do.
In her kind schemes for England, Charlotte sometimes planned her marrying Colonel Fitzwilliam.
He was beyond comparison the pleasantest man.
More than once did Elizabeth ramble within the park.
Unexpectedly meet Mr. Darcy.
To prevent this from happening again, she took care to inform him that he was a favorite very fond of hers. Yet to happen a second time, therefore, was very odd.
Yet it did.
And even a third.
You never said a great deal.
Nor did she take care of listening much. But during her third re-encounter, it struck to her that he was asking some very odd and unconnected questions.
As if her pleasure in being at Hunsford.
The love of solitary walks.
Her opinion of Mr. and Mrs. Collins' happiness.
Speaking of Rosings, and not to her perfect understanding the house.
He He seemed to believe the next time she'd come into Kent, she'd be staying there too.
Do you have Colonel Fitzwilliam's thoughts? I didn't know you walked this way.
I was making a tour of the park and intended to close it with a call at the parsonage. Are you going much further?
No, I should have done it in a moment. But I suppose, and I imagine, why your cousin brought you here is chiefly for the purpose of having someone at his own disposal. I wonder why he does not marry to have lasting convenience of that kind. But I suppose his sister does as well for the present, for she is under his sole care, and he may do what he likes with her.
No, that is an advantage in which he must divide with me. I am joined with him in the guardianship of Miss Darcy.
Are you indeed? Does your charge give you much trouble? But if she does have the true Darcy spirit, she may get what she wants. Do not be frightened. I've heard no such harm of her. She is very well liked amongst my acquaintance. Mrs. Hurst and Miss Bingley. I think you said you know them.
I know them a little. Their brother is a pleasant gentleman and a great friend of Darcy's.
Oh yes. Mr. Darcy is uncommonly kind to Mr. Bingley and takes a prodigious deal of care of him.
Yes, I really believe Darcy does take care of him.
Well, what is it that you mean?
It is a circumstance in which Darcy wished not be generally known. Because if it were to get back to the lady's family, it would be a most unpleasant thing.
You may depend upon me not mentioning it.
All I know is this. Darcy congratulated himself on recently saving a friend from a most imprudent marriage.
Did Mr. Darcy give you the reason for his interference?
I understand there were some strong objections against the lady.
What kind of art did he use to separate them?
He didn't speak to me of his own art, merely what I have told you. Why are you so thoughtful?
Your cousin's conduct does not suit my own feelings. Why should he be the judge?
You are rather disposed to call his interference officious.
I do not think Mr. Darcy has a right to decide on his friend's impiety or why he alone should determine his friend's happiness. But I suppose it's not fair to condemn him. There was not much affection in that case.
That is an unnatural surmise, but it is lessening the triumph of my cousin very sadly.
Abruptly changing the conversation.
They talk on indifferent matters till they reach the parsonage.
He was the cause. His pride and caprice was the cause of what Jane had suffered and still continues to suffer. Oh, Mr. Darcy, for he has ruined the most generous and affectionate heart in the world.
We are engaged for tea at Rosie.
I have a headache.
Lady Catherine, I feel will be...
She really is unwell.
Lady Catherine, I feel will be displeased.
As they all left, Elizabeth intended to exasperate herself as much as possible against Mr. Darcy. She reviewed the letters that Jane had written her during her stay in Kent. Mr. Darcy's boast and misery gave Elizabeth a keener sense of what Jane had suffered. It was some consolation to think that Mr. Darcy's visit to Rosings was to end the day after next.
I heard you were not feeling well.
Yes.
I was hoping to hear you were feeling better.
No.
In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge, it means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you.
Elizabeth's astonishment was beyond
This he considered sufficient encouragement, and the avowal of all that he felt and had long felt for her soon followed.
He spoke well.
But there were feelings beside those of the heart to be detailed.
Did not speak more eloquent on the subject of tenderness than of pride.
His sense of her inferiority, of the family obstacles which judgment had always opposed to inclination.
He dwelt on very warm and unlikely to have meant his suit.
He concluded with representing to her the strength of that attachment which, in spite all of his endeavors, he found impossible to conquer, in his hope of her accepting it by the acceptance of his hand.
If I could feel gratitude, I would now thank you. But I cannot. I have never asked for your opinion, and you most certainly bestowed it unwillingly. The feelings which you tell me have long prevented the acknowledgement of your regard can have little difficulty in understanding it after the explanation.
I may wish to be informed why, with so little endeavor at civility, I am thus rejected.
And I might just inquire why, with so evident a design of insulting and offending me, you tell me that you liked me, against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. I have every reason in the world to think ill of you. No motive can excuse the unjust and ungenerous part which you have played in ruining the happiness of my sister. Can you deny what you have done?
I make no wish of denying that I did everything in my power to separate my friend from your sister, or that I rejoice in my success. Towards him, I have been kinder than towards myself.
But it is not merely this where my dislike is founded. Long before it had taken place, my opinion of you was decided. Your character was unfolded during the recital which I have received many months ago. From Mr. Wickham.
You take an eager interest in that gentleman's concerns.
Who one knows his misfortunes have been can help feeling an interest in
His misfortunes! Yes, his misfortunes are great indeed!
An upward affliction. You have reduced him to this comparative state of poverty, deprived the best years of his life. You have done all this, and yet you can speak of him in contempt and ridicule.
And this is your opinion of me. I thank you for explaining it so fully. My faults, according to this calculation, are heavy indeed. But perhaps these offenses might have been overlooked, had not your pride been hurt by my honest confession of the scruples that had long prevented my forming any serious design.
You are mistaken, Mr. Darcy. If you think that the mode of your character can affect me in any other way, have you not acted in a more gentlemanlike manner?
I am not ashamed of the feelings I related. They were natural and just. Could you expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your connections?
I had not known you long before I decided you were the last man in the world I'd ever be prevailed on to marry.
You said quite enough, madam. I perfectly comprehend your feelings and now have only my own to be ashamed of. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time, and please accept my best wishes for your health and happiness.
Elizabeth woke the next morning with the same thoughts and meditations which had lain close to her eyes. She could not get over the surprise of what had happened.
That she should receive an offer of marriage from Mr. Darcy.
It was impossible to think of anything else. It was gratifying to have inspired unconsciousness of stronger affection, but his pride,
His abominable pride.
his shameless avowal of what he'd done in respect to Jane,
The unfeeling manner in which he mentioned Mr. Wickham.
soon overcame any pity, which for a moment was excited. She resolved soon after breakfast to indulge herself in air and exercise, and proceeded to her favorite walk.
Elizabeth! Elizabeth! I've been walking in the grove for some time before meeting you. Would you do me the honor of reading this letter? Be not alarmed, madam, on receiving this letter. I write without painting you or humbling myself, but by dwelling on wishes, which for the sake of both cannot be too soon forgotten.
Two offenses of a very different nature you last night laid to my charge.
If, in the telling of them, I relate feelings which may be offensive to yours, I can only say that I am sorry.
I had not been long in Hertfordshire before I saw that Bingley preferred your eldest sister to any other young woman in the country, but it was not until the evening of the dance at Netherfield that I had any apprehension of him feeling a serious attachment.
At that ball, I observed my friend's behavior attentively, and could then perceive that his partiality for Miss Bennet was more than I had ever seen in him before.
Your sister I also watched. Her looks and manners were open, cheerful, and engaging as ever.
But without any symptom of peculiar regard.
I became convinced no how matter amiable her temper.
Her heart was not likely to be easily touched.
The situation of your mother's family, though objectable, was nothing in comparison to the total want of propriety so frequently displayed by your three younger sisters.
Pardon me, it pains me to offend you. I will only say further that from what passed that evening, my opinion on both parties was confirmed, and I took it upon myself to preserve my friend from what I esteemed a most unhappy connection.
I do not suppose I would have ultimately prevented marriage.
Had I not been completely sure of your sister's indifference.
I can perceive her regard. He must be a simpleton too, not to discover it.
Remember, Eliza, he does not know Jane's disposition as you do.
On this subject, I have no other apology to give. If I have wounded your sister's feelings, it was unknowingly done.
With respect to the other more weighty accusations of having entered Mr. Wickham, I can only refute it by laying before you the whole of his connection with my family.
Mr. Wickham is the son of a very respectable man, who had for many years the management of all the Pemberley estates. My father supported him at school and afterwards at Cambridge.
He had the highest opinion of me. Well, the church would be my profession, and I intended to provide for me in it.
My excellent father died about 5 years ago, and in his will he recommended me to promote Wickham if he should take orders.
There was also a legacy of 1,000 pounds.
Within half a year, Mr. Wickham wrote to inform me that he had resolved against taking orders.
I hope you do not find it unreasonable for me to expect a more immediate pecuniary advantage in lieu of the position from which I can no longer benefit.
The business was soon settled. He resigned all claim to assistance in the church.
And in return accepted 3,000 pounds.
All connection between us was now dissolved. With a life free of restraint, his life became idleness and dissipation.
This cannot be.
For about 3 years, I heard little of him, until the church position became available, and he wrote to me for the presentation.
The circumstances were exceedingly bad.
He was resolved on being ordained. I knew Mr. Wickham ought not to be a clergyman. You can hardly blame me for refusing to comply with this entreaty.
His resentment in proportion to his distress of his circumstances.
I must now mention which I wish to forget myself, and no obligation less than the present should induce me to unfold to any human being. About a year ago, my sister went to London, and thither also went Mr. Wickham, undoubtedly by design. He so far recommended himself to Georgiana, whose affectionate heart retained a strong impression of his kindness to her as a child, and to believe herself to be in love, and to consent to an elopement. I met up with them unexpectedly a day or two before the intended elopement, where Georgiana acknowledged the whole to me.
You may imagine what I felt and acted.
Regard for my sister's credit and feelings prevented me from taking the exposure public, but I wrote to Mr. Wickham, who left the place immediately. His goal was unquestionably my sister's fortune, but I cannot help supposing that his hope of revenging himself on me was a strong inducement.
This, madame, is a faithful narrative of every event in which we have been concerned together. And if you do not absolutely reject it to be false, you will, I hope, acquit me henceforth all cruelty towards Mr. Wickham.
You were possibly wondering why all this was not told to you last night, but I was not then master enough of myself to know what could or ought to be revealed.
For the truth of everything related, I can appeal more particularly to the testimony of Colonel Fitzwilliam.
I will only add, God bless you.
How despicably have I acted. I who have prided myself in the disconcernment, had I not been in love, I could not be more wretchedly blind. I who have courted prejudice and ignorance, and driven reason away. To this moment, I never knew myself.
The two gentlemen left Rosings the next morning.
And in the second week of May, Sir William and Elizabeth left Hartford.
I'm glad you are come back, Lizzie.
Now do I have some news for you. First, the dreadful Mary King, who's been after Wickham these past months, has gone down to Liverpool to stay with her uncle. Come this day. Wickham is safe.
Mary King is safe.
She isn't grateful for going away, but I'm going away too. Mrs. Forrester, the wife of the colonel, has invited me to come here to Brighton when the regiment leaves next week. That is the best news of all.
I cannot see why Mrs. Forrester should not ask me to go as well as you. I have just as much right to be asked, for I am 2 years older.
We shall have no peace at Longbourn if Lydia does not go to Brighton. At Brighton she will be of less importance, even as a common flirt, than she has been here. The officers will find women better worth their pay. Let us hope that her going there may teach her her own insignificance.
From many a way she promised.
To write very often and very minutely.
But her letters were always long expected and always very short.
After the first fortnight of her absence, the families who had been in town for the winter came back again.
And summer finery and summer engagements arose.
Warwicks were to pass away before her uncle and aunt's arrival and the beginning of their northern tour.
But they did pass away, and they set off for Elizabeth the next morning in pursuit of novelty and amusement.
They bent their step for the little town of Langton, the scene of Mrs. Garner's former residence.
Where she had recently learned that some acquaintances still remained.
Pimberley is within 5 miles.
My love, should be glad to see a place of which you have heard so much. Wickham passed all his youth there, you know.
I must own, I am tired of great houses. I have seen so many. I really have no desire in seeing fine carpets or satin curtains.
If it were merely a fine house richly furnished, I should not care about it myself. The grounds are delightful. They have some of the finest woods in the country.
To Pemberley, therefore, they were to go.
Upon applying to see the place, they were admitted into the hall.
Was Mr. Darcy often at Pemberley during the course of the year?
Not so much as I could wish. He will come for the summer with Miss Darcy within a week or so.
If your master would marry, you might see more of him.
Yes, but I do not know when that will be. I do not know who is good enough for him.
You take it in his credit. I am sure that you think so.
I say no more than the truth, and what everybody will say that knows him. I have never had a crossword from him in my life, and I have known him since he was 4 years old.
His father was an excellent man.
Yes, ma'am, and his son will be just like him. He is the best landlord and the best master that ever lived. Some people call him proud, but I am sure I never saw anything of it. To my fancy, it is only because he doesn't rattle away like other young men.
My account of him is not quite consistent with his behavior to our poor friend.
Perhaps we might be deceived.
On reaching the spacious lobby above,
They were shown into a very pretty sitting room.
Fitted up with greater elegance and lightness than the apartment below.
They were informed that it had just been done to give pleasure to Miss Darcy, who had taken a liking to the room when last at Pemberley.
He certainly is a good brother.
This is always the way with him. Whatever can give his sister any pleasure is sure to be done in a moment. There is nothing he would not do for her.
When all the house was open to general inspection had been seen,
They proceeded downstairs and walked across the lawn towards the river.
they turned and looked at the house again, conjecturing on the date of the building.
When the owner of it himself suddenly appeared on the road leading behind to the stables.
So abrupt was his appearance that it was impossible to avoid his sight.
An unexpected pleasure.
Yes,
And your family as well?
every sentence that he uttered increased Elizabeth's embarrassment. Have you known that she was found? These few moments were some of the most uncomfortable in her life.
Nor did he seem much more at ease. He repeated his inquiries as to her having left Longbourn and so hurried away, it plainly spoke the distraction of his thoughts. Would you do me the honor of introducing me to your friends?
Oh yes, this is my uncle and aunt, Mr. and Mrs. Gardner.
We must fish here as often as you like. We can provide you with bait and tackle. At that bend, there's usually good sport.
I'm so fatigued by this exercise. Do walk more slowly.
Sir, certain of your absence before coming here.
Yes, my arrival is unexpected. The rest of my party will join me tomorrow, Mr. Bingley and his sisters. There is another who wishes to be more acquainted to you. Would you allow me to introduce you to my sister during her stay?
We walked on in silence.
Each of them deep in thought.
The idea that he wished to introduce his sister to her was the highest compliment of the kind.
He asked her to come inside.
But she declared herself not tired. Time and her aunt moved slowly.
At such a time, much might have been said.
She wanted to talk, but there seemed to be a bargain on every subject.
Would you like to come inside for some refreshments?
How very kind, but we must be going.
They parted on all sides with the utmost politeness.
From what we have seen of him, I really should not have thought he could have behaved in so cruel a way as he has done by poor Wickham.
Elizabeth felt herself to say something in vindication towards Mr. Wickham, but only to refute by laying that Mr. Darcy was by no means at fault, nor Wickham so amiable as he was in Hertfordshire.
Mrs. Gardner was surprised and concerned, but was far too engaged in pointing out all the interesting spots to her husband to think of anything else.
exciting for Elizabeth. All she could do was think, and think of Mr. Darcy's civility, and above all, that he wanted to introduce his sister to her.
Good morning, Elizabeth. There's a letter just arrived from Jane. Your uncle and I are off for a walk. We'll let you enjoy the letter in quiet.
Oh, where is my uncle? Mr. Darcy, you must excuse me, but I must find Mr. Gardner at once. There's not a moment to lose.
What does it matter? Let me or let a servant go after them. They're sent for. Is there nothing? A glass of wine, shall I get you?
No, I thank you. I'm quite all right. There's nothing wrong with me. I have just received some dreadful news. My sister Lydia has abandoned all of her friends and has thrown herself in the power of Mr. Wickham. They have left together on Brighton, and you know him too well to doubt the rest. She has no money, no connections, nothing that can tempt him to marry her. She's lost forever.
Is it certain? Absolutely certain?
Oh yes, they left Brighton together on Sunday night, and we have traced him to London, but not beyond. We are for certain they have not gone to Scotland.
What has been done to recover them?
My father has gone to London, and Jane has written begging my uncle's assistance. But there is nothing that can be done. We have not the smallest hope. And have I considered that I have might have prevented it had I told my family, but it's all too late now.
Would to heaven that there could be anything I could do. I am so sorry.
Mr. and Mrs. Gardner have hurried back and along.
Suppose by the servant's account, their niece had suddenly taken ill.
Satisfying them instantly on the head, she told them the cause for their summons, reading the letter out loud.
I shall go immediately to London. You two shall return to Longbourn.
Elizabeth found herself in shorter space and time, seated in the carriage and on the road.
They traveled as expeditiously as possible,
Spending one night on the road.
to reach Longbourn by dinner time the next day.
Have you heard anything from the fugitives?
Not yet, but now that my dear uncle is gone, I hope everything will be well.
You heard from father since you went to town.
He wrote early once. He sent a few lines saying that he had arrived safely and added that he should not write again until he had something of importance to mention.
Oh, my dear sister, when you get to town, make the men find them out, and if they are not married, make them marry. But as for the wedding clothes, do not let Lydia wait for them, but tell her she will have as much money to buy them after they are married.
Sure you.
And above all things, do not let Mr. Gardner fight. But tell him I'm frightened out my wits with such tremblings, such flutterings, such pains in my side and beatings in my heart that I can get no rest by night nor by day. And tell Lydia not to take any direction on her clothes until she has seen me, for she does not know which are the best warehouses. Oh, my dear sister, how kind you are. I know you will contrive it all.
Every day at Longbourn was now a day of anxiety, but the most anxious part of the day was when the post was to be expected.
Before they had heard from Mr. Gardner, they had received a letter from another quarter.
From Mr. Collins.
As Jane had received orders to open all letters for her father, she accordingly read.
My dear sir, be assured that Mrs. Collins and myself sincerely sympathize with you and all your respectable family in your present distress, which must be of the bitterest kind.
The death of your daughter would have been a blessing in comparison to this.
Howsoever that may be, you are grievously to be pitied, in which opinion I am not only joined by Mrs. Collins,
but likewise by Lady Catherine and her daughter.
Let me advise you then, my dear sir, to throw off your unworthy child from your affection forever, and let her reap the fruits of her own heinous offense.
He has nothing of a pleasant-natured son.
Mr. Wickham has left gaming debts behind him in considerable amount.
A gamester? I had no idea of it.
Expect father home tomorrow.
What? Is he coming home? And without poor Lydia? Why, who is to stay and find Wickham into marrying her if he comes away?
Mr. Bennet arrived, he said as little as he'd ever been in the habit of saying. Made no mention of the business that had taken him away.
It was not until afternoon when he joined them at tea.
Elizabeth felt herself to say something on the subject and express her sorrow for what he must have endured.
Say nothing of that. Who should suffer but myself? It has been my own doing. I ought to feel it.
You must not be too hard on yourself.
No, Lizzie. Let me once in my life feel how much I have been to blame.
You suppose him to be in London?
Yes. Where else could they be so well concealed?
And Lydia used to want to go to London.
She is happy then, and her residence there will probably be of some duration.
It's time for Mother's tea.
This is a parade which does one good. It gives such elegance to misfortune. Another day, and I will do the same. I will sit in my library in my nightcap and gown, and give as much trouble as I can. Or perhaps I may defer it till Kitty runs away.
I am not going to run away, Papa. If I should ever go to Brighton, I would behave better than Lydia.
You go to Brighton. No, Kitty. I have at least learned to be cautious, and you will feel the effects of it. No officer is ever to step foot in my home, nor ever even to pass through the village. Balls will be absolutely prohibited, and you are never to stir out of doors till you can prove that you spend 10 minutes of every day in some rational manner. Well, do not make yourself unhappy. If you were a good girl for the next 10 years or so, I will take you to a review. At the end of them.
2 days later,
Express.
Read it aloud.
My dearest brother, at last I'm able to send you tidings of my niece. Soon after you left me on Saturday, I was fortunate enough to find out which part of London they were. They are discovered. I have seen them both.
Then it is as I had always hoped. They're married.
I have seen them both and they are not married, nor do they have any intention of being so.
But if you are willing to perform the engagement which I venture to make on your behalf, I hope it will not be long before they both are. All that is required of you is to assure your daughter her equal share of £5,000 secured amongst your children on the deceased of yourself and my sister, and enter into an engagement with her during your lifetime, £100 per annum.
You will easily comprehend from these particulars that Mr. Wickham's circumstances are not so hopeless as they intend to be.
The world has been deceived in this respect.
Send back your answer as soon as you can.
We have judged it best that my niece be married in this house, which I hope you will approve.
She comes to us today.
Yours, etc., Edward Gardner.
Can it be? Can he marry her?
Wickham is not so undeserving then as we had once thought of him.
And they will marry. Yet, he is such a man.
Yes. Yes, they must marry. There's nothing else to be done. But there are two things that I want very much to know. The one is how much money your uncle has laid down to make it so. And the other, how I am ever to pay him.
Money? My uncle. What do you mean, sir?
I mean that no man would be tempted to marry Lydia on so slight an offer as £100 per annum in my life, and 50 after I'm gone.
My dear, good, generous man. He has distressed himself. A small sum. Cannot do all this.
Then we take my uncle's letter to Mother.
Take whatever you like. I must write a reply instantly.
After a slight preparation, good news.
The letter was read aloud.
My dear Lydia, she will be married. I shall see her again. Oh, how I long to see her. too. But the clothes. I will write to my sister Gardner about them directly. Lizzie, run down to Father and see how much money he will give them. Stay, I will go myself. Kitty, ring the bell for my things. I'll get dressed in a moment, and I'll go to Marrington and see my sister Phillips. And on the way back, I'll talk to Mrs. Long and Lady Lucas. Oh, and airing out would do me a great deal of good, I'm sure. Girls, can I do anything for you in Marrington? Yes.
Your sisters, when they arrived,
The carriage is set to meet them.
their arrival was dreaded by the elder Miss Bennet.
Oh, Mama! Do the people hereabouts know I'm married today? Ah, Jane, I take your place now. You must go lower, because I am a married woman. I am sure my sisters must all envy me. I only told them in half my good luck. They must all go to Brighton, for that is the place to get husbands.
But my dear Lydia, I do not at all like going such ways off. Must it be so?
Oh, Lord, yes. You and Papa and my sisters must come down and see us. We'll be at Newcastle all winter, and I dare say there should be some balls. And should take care to get good partners for them all.
I should like it beyond anything.
And when you go away, you may leave one or two of my sisters behind you, and I dare say I shall have husbands for them before the winter is over.
I'm thinking particularly for you offer, but I do not like the way of getting husbands.
Their visitors are not to remain above 10 days with them.
No one but Mrs. Bennet regretted that their stay would be so short.
I never gave you an account of my wedding. Are you not curious to how it was managed?
No, really. I don't think there's much to be talked about the subject.
La, you are so strange. But I must tell you how it went off. We were married, you know, in St. Clement's, and it was settled we should all be there by 11 o'clock. And we breakfasted at 10 as usual. I thought it would never be over with, for you see, my uncle and aunt were horrid unpleasant the whole time I was with them. So when the carriage came to the door, my uncle was called away upon business. Luckily, he was back again in 10 minutes, and we were all set out. However, I recollected afterwards, had he been prevented from going, the wedding need not be put off, for Mr. Darcy might have given me away.
Mr. Darcy?
Oh, yes, he was to come there with Wickham, you know. But gracious me, I quite forgot. I ought not said a word about it. I promised them faithfully.
If it was meant to be secret, say not another word on the subject. You can rely on my speaking no further.
Oh, yes. We will talk nothing of the subject.
Thank you, for if you did, I should tell you all, and then Wickham would be angry.
But to live in a world of ignorance, therefore, was impossible. Hastily seizing a sheet of paper, she expressed to her aunt what Lydia had dropped.
She had the satisfaction of receiving an answer to her letter as soon as she possibly could. On the very day of my coming home from Longbourn, your uncle had a most unexpected visitor.
Mr. Darcy was called and shut up with him for several hours.
He came to tell Mr. Gardner that he had found out where your sister and Mr. Wickham were, that he had seen and talked with both of them, Wickham repeatedly, Lydia once.
His first object with Lydia was to get her to quit her present disgraceful situation.
But he found Lydia absolutely resolved on remaining where she was.
Since such were her feelings, it only remained to secure and expedite a marriage.
Which on his first encounter with Mr. Wickham, he learned was never his design.
Wickham still cherished the hope of more effectually making his fortune by marriage in some other country.
They met several times where there was much to be discussed.
Wickham, of course, wanted more than he could get.
But at length was reduced to be reasonable.
His debts are to be paid.
Amounting, I believe, to more than £1,000.
Another 1,000 in addition to her.
And his commission purchased.
Nothing more was to be done that Mr. Darcy did not do himself. Will you be very angry, my dear Lizzie, if I take this opportunity to tell you how much I like him? I must write no more. The children have been wanting me this half hour.
He has done all this for a girl he neither esteemed nor regarded?
Her heart did whisper that he did it for her.
Brother-in-law of Wickham. Every kind of idea must revolt against the connection.
The day of his and Lydia's departure soon came.
Oh, my dear Lydia, when shall we meet again?
Oh, Lord, I don't know. Not these 2 or 3 years.
can assure you, this news does not affect me with either pleasure or with pain.
On the third day after his arrival to Hertfordshire, Mrs. Bennet saw Mr. Bingley entering the paddock and driving towards the house.
Elizabeth went up to the window. She looked. She saw Mr. Darcy with him and sat back down by her sister.
There is a gentleman with him.
Oh, some acquaintance or another, my dear.
Ma, it looks just like that man that used to be with him before. Mr. What's his name? The tall, proud.
Good gracious, Mr. Darcy. And so it does, I vow. Well, any friend of Mr. Bingley's is always welcome here, but I dare say I hate the very sight. Mr. Bingley, welcome, welcome. It's been a long time since you went away. A great many changes have happened in the neighborhood since you've been away. Mrs. Lucas is married and settled. And my own daughter. I'm sure you must have heard it. Indeed, you must have seen it in the papers.
I did. Congratulations.
It is a delightful thing to have a daughter well married. Come, Mary, Kitty, let us have cook. We have guests.
Elizabeth observed Jane's beauty, and it reminded her of her admiration of her former lover, Mr. Darcy. Is your sister often at Pemberley still?
Yes, she will remain there till Christmas.
And quite alone. Has all her friends left her?
Miss Ainsley is with her, but her friends have gone on to Scarborough these 3 weeks.
Mrs. Bennet designed to keep the two Netherfield gentlemen longer.
But on this day, she could detain them no longer.
A few days after this visit, Bingley came back again, and alone. Darcy had left for London that morning and was to return to his friend in 10 days' time.
What is the matter, Ma? Why do you keep winking at me for? What am I to do?
Nothing, child. I did not wink at you. Come here, Kitty. I'd like to speak to you. Lizzie, I'd like to speak with you.
Bingley was everything that was charming.
His ease and cheerfulness rendered him a most agreeable addition to their evening party.
He scarcely needed an invitation to stay for supper, and before he went away,
An engagement was formed for him to shoot the next morning to Mr. Bennet.
Bingley was punctual in his agreement and had met with Mr. Bennet the following morning, as had been agreed on.
He, of course, returned with him for supper. Oh, Lizzie, how am I to bear so much happiness? I must go to Mother, for he's going to find it already. Lizzie, why is everyone not as happy as I am?
Where's your sister?
She is upstairs with Mamma. She will be down in a moment, I dare say. Mrs. Bennet, it's warm enough to satisfy her feelings, but she talked to Mr. Bingley of nothing else for half an hour.
Jane, I congratulate you. You will be a very happy woman. I have not a doubt of your getting along together. You are both of you so complying that nothing will ever be agreed on. So easy that every servant will cheat you, and so generous that you will always exceed your income.
My dear Mr. Bennet, why, he has 4,000 or 5,000 a year, and very likely a little more. Oh, my dear Jane, I am so happy, so pleased. I shan't get a wink of sleep all night, but I knew that's how it would be. Oh, he's the handsomest man that was ever seen.
Bingley was now a daily visitor at Longbourn, coming frequently before breakfast and always staying till after supper. One morning, about a week after Bingley's engagement to Jane, the sound of carriages were being heard driving up the lawn. The horses were posted, and neither the servants nor livery who preceded it were familiar. Conjecture remained until the door was thrown open, and there the visitor entered.
It was Lady Catherine de Bourgh. Miss Bennet, there seems to be a prettyish kind of little wilderness on one side of your lawn. I should be happy to take a turn in it if you would favor me with your company. You can be at no loss, Miss Bennet, to understand the reason for my journey hither. Your own heart, your own conscience must tell you why I come.
Do you
Bennet, you ought to know that I am not to be trifled with. A report of a most alarming nature reached me 2 days ago. I was told that not only is your sister on the point of being most advantageously married, but that you, that Miss Elizabeth Bennet, would in all likelihood be soon afterwards united with my nephew, Mr. Darcy, though I know it must be a scandalous falsehood, though I would not suppose to injure him thinking that the truth is possible. I instantly resolved on setting off for this place that I might make my sentiments known to you.
You believe it to be impossible. I wonder why you took the trouble of coming so far.
Has this not been industriously circulated by yourself? Do you not know such a report is spread abroad?
I never heard that it was.
And can you likewise declare there is no foundation for it?
I do not pretend to possess equal frankness with your ladyship. You may ask questions which I may choose not to answer.
This is not to be borne. Miss Bennet, I insist on being satisfied. Has my nephew made you an offer of marriage?
Your ladyship has declared it to be impossible.
It ought to be so. It must be so while he retains the use of his reason. But your arts and allurements may have made him forget what he owes to himself and to his family. You may have drawn him in.
I have. I shall be the last person to confess it.
Miss Bennet, do you know who I am? I am almost the nearest relation he has in all the world, and I am entitled to know his dearest concern.
But you are not entitled to know mine, nor such behavior as this will force me to be explicit.
Let me be rightly understood. My daughter and my nephew are formed for each other. They are descended on the maternal side from the same noble line, and on the father's from respectable, honorable, and ancient, though untitled families. Their fortunes on both sides are splendid. They are destined for each other. And what is to divide them? The upstart pretensions of a young woman without family connection or fortune. If you were sensible of your own good, you would not wish to quit the sphere in which you have been brought up.
In marrying your nephew, I was not to consider myself quitting the sphere. He is a gentleman, and I am a gentleman's daughter, and so far we are equal.
True, you are a gentleman's daughter, but who is your mother? And who are your uncles and aunt? Do not imagine that I am ignorant of their condition.
Whatever my connections may be, if your nephew does not object to them, they can be nothing to you.
Tell me once for all, are you engaged to him?
I am not.
And will you promise never to enter into such an engagement?
I will make no promise of the kind.
Miss Bennet, I am shocked and astonished. I shall not go away until you have given me the assurance I require.
And I certainly shall never give it. Your ladyship wants Mrs. Darcy to marry your daughter, but at all that my wish for promise make it probable? Allow me to say, Lady Catherine, that your application was ill-judged. You've widely mistaken my character if you think I can be persuaded by such things. Whatever interference that you allow in your nephew's affairs, I cannot tell. But you certainly know right from mine.
Not so hasty, if you please. I have by no means done. To all the objections I have already urged, I still have another to add. I am no stranger to the particulars of your youngest sister's infamous elopement. Is such a girl to be my nephew's sister? Heaven and earth, of what are you thinking? Are the shades of Pemberley to be thus polluted?
You have now nothing further to say. You've insulted me in every possible method. I must beg to return to the house.
You refuse to oblige me, then. You are determined to make him the opinion of his friends and ruin him in the contempt of the world.
In resentment to his family, or the indignation of the world, they have no reason to join in the scorn.
So, that is your real opinion, then. Very well. Do not imagine, Miss Bennet, that your ambition will ever be gratified. I came to try you. I hoped to find you reasonable. But depend upon it, I will carry my point. I take no leave of you, Miss Bennet. I said no compliments to your mother. You deserve no such attention. I am most seriously displeased.
Lady Catherine has journeyed all the way from Rome proceeds to break up my supposed engagement with Mr. Darcy?
What? Where could this report have originated?
Since she is intimate friends with Bingley and I am her sister, perhaps neighbors were eager to supply another marriage.
And the Lucases would have communicated that with the Collinses.
And thus a report reached Lady Catherine.
What is it?
Lady Catherine will certainly go to her nephew. And what will he think of me then? Perhaps they will not listen much.
Instead of receiving any letter of excuse from his friend,
As Elizabeth half expected him to.
He was able to bring Darcy with him to Longford before many days had passed from Lady Catherine's visit.
Bingley, who wanted to be alone with Jane, proposed they all go out for a walk.
Mrs. Bennet is not in the habit of walking.
But the remaining 5 set off together.
They walked towards Lucas's.
Because Kitty wished to call on Maria.
Mr. Darcy, I have been a selfish creature. I who have concerned myself with my own feelings, care not of meeting yours. All I do is thank you for your unexampled kindness. I really feel it.
I am sorry, exceedingly sorry that you were informed. I did not know Miss Gardner was so little to be trusted.
You must not blame my aunt for Lydia's unfaithfulness, which was first betrayed to me. All I can do is thank you again, and again, on behalf of my family.
If you will thank me, let it be for yourself alone. As much as I respect them, your family owes me nothing. I thought only of you. If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once. My feelings are unchanged, but one word from you will silence me on the subject forever.
My sentiments have undergone so materially changes. They walked on.
Not knowing in what direction.
As much to be thought,
And said,
felt.
for attention to other objects.
She soon learned that they were in debt to the efforts of his aunt.
Who did call on him in London, relate her journey to Longbourn and the substance of the conversation with Elizabeth.
The effects of the conversation was not what she wished.
It taught me to hope, as I scarcely ever allowed myself to hope before. For I knew that if you were completely against me, you would have told it to Lady Catherine, openly and frankly.
You know enough of my frankness. How I care not abominably act into your plans.
What did you say to me that I did not deserve? For though your accusations were based on mistaken premises, my behavior at the time was unpardonable.
I must have hated me that evening.
Hate you? I was angry perhaps at first, but my anger soon took a proper direction.
Lizzie! Where should you have been walking to? Lizzie, you're joking. This cannot be. I know how much you dislike him.
You know nothing of the matter. Perhaps I did not like him at first, but it should be the last time I will ever remember it.
Lizzie, I do congratulate you. But are you certain? Forgive me for asking you, but are you quite certain you can be happy with him?
Makes me the happiest couple in the world.
It was resolved during their walk that Mr. Bennet's consent should be asked in the evening.
She felt herself to reserve for application of the mother.
Later in the evening, when Mr. Bennet rose and entered his library, she watched Mr. Darcy follow him.
She sat in misery until Mr. Darcy appeared.
Go to your father. He wishes to speak to you in the library.
Lizzie, what are you doing? Are you out of your senses? To be accepting this man? Have you not always hated him?
She assured him of her attachment to Mr. Darcy.
He is rich, to be sure, and you may have more fine clothes and fine carriages than Jane. But will they make you happy?
Have you any other objection to my indifference?
None at all. We all know him to be a proud and unpleasant sort of fellow. But that would be nothing if you truly liked him.
Father, I do. I do like him. I love him. You do not know him as I do. Pray, do not let me speak on him in such terms.
Lizzie, I have given him my consent, but I must advise you to think the better of it. Lizzie, I know your disposition. I know you would neither be happy or respectable in life, unless you truly esteemed your husband. My child, let me not bear the grief of seeing you unable to respect your partner in life.
You instead explain a gradual change and what Mr. Darcy did involuntarily from Lydia.
This is an evening of wonders indeed. So Mr. Darcy did it all. Made up the match, gave the money, paid the fellow's debts, and got him his commission. So much the better. It will save me a world of trouble and economy. Had it been your uncle's doing, I must and would have paid him. But these violent young lovers, they carry everything their own way. I will offer to pay him tomorrow, and he will rant and storm about his love for you. And that will be an end of the matter.
Oh, Father.
If any young men come for Mary or Kitty, send them in, for I am quite at leisure.
As her mother entered the